Welcome to the 1 hour special of Dragon Ball Super, episodes 109 and 110. First of all, we have Ribrianne versus Goku. They are still fighting. Goku is in his base form and is basically a match for Ribrianne, which is a little interesting, a little disappointing to me because I thought Ribrianne was a powerhouse character that would be a match for like the blue level characters or maybe slightly under. But I still like her as a character. In terms of the story with these two episodes, with this 1 hour special, I felt like it kind of detracted from it, which I was worried about in my predictions video for the 1 hour special. But not to say it wasn't exactly enjoyable, I just felt it didn't really fit with everything else that was going on, which is the Jiren and Goku fight. So we get a little bit more of the magical girl stuff with the girls, all even including the God of Destruction, holding up these weird stick things and giving her their love. And you know, she powers up, grows some wings, and gets even stronger. And then Goku's like, oh man, I need to power up more. And I'm like, okay, finally, he's gonna go Super Saiyan. But he doesn't go Super Saiyan, he just powers up in his base form, and I'm like, oh man, he wasn't even powered up in his base form? Jeez, she's even weaker than I even initially thought. But it was interesting seeing the magical girl stuff nonetheless to me. And wouldn't that count as outside interference due to the God of Destruction and the one that's eliminated holding up the sticks as well, giving her their power? Whatever, I guess it doesn't count as interference, which of course leads into the Spirit Bomb later on. We'll get into that in a second. So she gets knocked to Jiren's feet by Goku, and she's like, oh man, and she runs away from him. That was pretty funny. I'm glad they interjected a little bit of comedy into this because this is a very heavy episode full of like tenseness and action. And it was blue Goku, and I'm like, was that necessary? Did you need to go blue? Couldn't you just go Super Saiyan? Wouldn't that use less stamina? I would think it would, but who knows. And now this to me is where the episode actually begins. Like, I really think they should have wrapped that Ribrianne stuff a lot sooner. But now we get this awesome new music. I'm pretty sure it's new music. Really cool, really awesome scene. And Belmont gives him the go-ahead to say, okay, you can start fighting now. And Jiren's like, fine. He starts walking forward. And the presence that this guy has, this is really well directed. He just starts walking forward and you can feel like the tenseness. And you see the reaction from the other characters. And you can feel the amount of power that this guy gives off. Goku starts attacking in his base, and we're like, shouldn't he go into blue? And Krillin's like, nah man, that's not how he works, dude. He goes in his base form to try to gauge his enemy, and so Goku Kamehamehas him, and basically gauges Jiren's level and says, nah, base isn't enough. Immediately goes to Super Saiyan, does nothing. He starts pounding on Jiren, does nothing. And he's like, immediately Super Saiyan 2, bam. Still does nothing. Like, he budges his head slightly when he kicks him straight in the noggin. He's like, okay, Super Saiyan's 2 not enough? Screw 3, I'm going into God. He causes Jiren to block him with one finger. That dude's blocking Super Saiyan freaking God with one finger. Now, this is a character who is stronger, way stronger than he was in the Battle of Gods arc, whose punches were contributing to waves that were destroying planets on impact, like disintegrating planets, and possibly would have caused the destruction of the universe. And this guy's blocking him with one finger. So that's not enough. He goes into blue, finally. And now he's in serious Super Saiyan Blue mode. And everybody's watching, and Universe 7's like, haha, Jiren's gonna just wipe the floor with this guy. And then their morale's gonna be gone. So that's a really interesting concept. We'll see if it pays off later. But man, this fight had really, really nice looking choreography and fairly fluid animation, with Jiren just flinging Goku around by his leg. And Goku, to stop it, has to use Kaioken, like he's forced pretty quickly, because this fight is only about 5 minutes long. Goes into Kaioken and still can't like get a hit on this guy. So it's very, very fast paced. I do wish it was a little bit slower, but you can feel with how fast it is the amount of intensity involved between these two characters, with Goku just like immediately realizing through each of his transformations. So on one side, it was pretty short. On the other side, I'm glad that it was short so that you can really feel the intensity a little bit more. Because in terms of getting invested in their actual fight, it's still building at this point. Because Goku is still using Kaioken. He almost gets ringed out by him, but he's holding on to the edge of the stage in his Kaioken mode. Still fighting. Really great sound design here too. The sound mixing was on point. And Krillin's like, Goku can use times 20 Kaioken at this point, right? And they're like, and Beerus is like, no, he's been using Kaioken times 20 this whole time. Just like King Kai did in the Namek Saga. So this is kind of a tribute to that. Like, this whole fight is very similar to the Namek Saga. So even Kaioken times 20, Goku's no match for this guy. So after this 5-minute fight, Goku's like, man, nothing I can do is gonna stop this guy. So I need to use my trump card, the Spirit Bomb. And he's like, Jiren, let's see if you can stop this. And so he goes up, calls upon the energy from everybody, and just the Universe 7 guys contribute their power. And during this, I'm thinking, oh no, if they contribute too much power to this, they're going to be drained of their energy. How are they going to continue fighting after this? So that's another thing that we need to be concerned about. You know, Gohan Piccolo, who has regenerated 2 arms by now, so his stamina is already far from maximum. And it's pretty funny that Vegeta's like, screw that, I'm not giving you my energy. So even Frieza did it. So I'm kind of glad that one of the stronger characters didn't give their energy, even though Android 17 and 18, it doesn't really matter for them since they have an unlimited supply. So put in the comments who you think gave the most energy out of everybody. I'm gonna say 17 since he's very, very strong and has unlimited supply of energy. So, oh man, this was awesome music too. Like, there's numerous new songs inserted in here during this, and it's really well mixed together. Goku goes to his base form to do the Spirit Bomb, and Tien's like, why did he revert? And Krillin finally explains what the games, as far as they know, haven't explained. That you have to be in base form to do the Spirit Bomb, because when you turn into Super Saiyan, it brings in like that aggressive nature. So like you have that aggressive nature a little bit too much to be able to focus and gather like the Genki. Man, it's such a cool scene, seeing everybody on Universe 7 saying, here, take my energy. You know, that is teamwork right there. And we get the people from outside that were eliminated contributing their ki as well. And I guess it's not considered interference. I was kind of hoping somebody would turn to Zeno and say, hey Zeno, is it okay if I give him some of my energy? So the Spirit Bomb's forming, it's going a little slow, and Jiren's like, I'll wait. As if this guy's badassery wasn't high enough, he had to freaking go and say that and make himself even more badass. It's like, you know, do what you can, do your maximum everything. I'm gonna take it. And I think that's the most words he's ever said. So the Spirit Bomb's forming. We have an amazing instrumental take of Limit Break X Survivor, which I just did a piano cover of on the channel. Really amazing sounding, awesome sequence, and really gives you time to immerse yourself into the drama of what's happening. You know, because before it was like really quick, really intense, but now they are slowing the pace down a little bit so you can get caught up. And they're having the clash. Jiren is pushing back, unsurprisingly, the Spirit Bomb, and Goku's like, I need more power! So he goes Kaioken times 10, times 20. Like, amazing, intense sequence. Even if the rocks that were floating up were very repetitive, didn't take me out of it too much. And then the Spirit Bomb starts doing something weird, and Jiren's like powering up, and this is the first sign of like somewhat effort coming from this guy. And now it's confirmed that he is the one that is stronger than us God of Destruction. So the Spirit Bomb does some weird stuff because they're clashing so hard, implodes kind of on itself. Goku's like at his limit, passes out, starts falling, falls into the middle of the imploding Spirit Bomb, which is seconds away from exploding. Which makes me realize, was Goku flying that whole time? He falls into the void and explodes. Drama everywhere, everybody thinks Goku's dead, like Gohan's distraught, goes over to the crater, but we have revealed Goku's strongest ability is not the Spirit Bomb. Goku's strongest ability is Ass Pole. He rises from the rubble. Amazing sequence, so cool. The aura, the black hair, everything, and the silver eyes. Really, really awesome portrayal of his power here. And you can like feel the presence that he has. And we get this amazing insert song that fit really well. And Goku, that first freaking attack, man, jumping up, like you see a shot of Topo, and he's looking down where Goku used to be, and he turns his head, and it's like he didn't like catch the speed of Goku's movements, but Jiren did because he freaking ducked under his kick. And those first few attacks in slow motion, like boom, boom, and then finally their fists collide. And Topo goes in for the attack just as Flash, and Goku's just like sidestepping that. And everybody's like, what is going on? Vegeta's like, what is going on here? And finally Whis figures it out that it is Ultra Instinct. that somehow falling into the apex of the Spirit Bomb explosion caused Goku's energyless body to absorb the Genki of the Spirit Bomb, creating this like limit breaker, if you want to call it, or Ultra Instinct like form. So even though Goku has no energy left himself, his body is utilizing the ki of the Spirit Bomb. And it's awesome seeing how nervous Beerus is at this point. And definitely as far as the Tournament of Power goes, this has got to be the best fight. I mean, the amount of hype it got, you need to expect it to be top notch. And the animation, like everything looked amazing in this. And they start going up, like, are they flying here? It feels like they are in midair doing this. But they're doing the quick punches. Goku's in the air, like punching. Like Goku's in the air doing 1,000 punch mode. And Jiren's just like punching and blocking at the same time. But he's not even moving his legs, he's just moving his arms to, you know, counterattack Goku's movements. Oh man, it's such a great fight. But unfortunately for Goku, it does not last. Because the Spirit Bomb's energy has faded. Whis mentions the heat. So Goku's time runs out. Jiren catches a punch from Goku. Such cool stuff. And that shot of the camera panning around Goku and Jiren. But Jiren catches his punch and blasts him away. That is the end of the fight. This is very well paced, very well executed. Right when Jiren blasts him away, boom! Hit appears right there, attacking Jiren. But Jiren is just too good for it, and he has 2 arms. So he uses one of his arms to block Hit's attack. And I'm thinking, oh man, he almost got him. But what if he used like his ranged attack, that, you know, his killing technique? If he did that, maybe that would have got Jiren. But who knows? So, and when Jiren blasts Goku away, he says, Saiyans are so interesting. And that made me think, oh man, in the future, are we gonna see an all Saiyan versus Jiren fight? That would be so cool. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Kale, Kaba, Caulifla, 6 versus 1. Of course, we are left with a cliffhanger. Vegeta's asking Goku, what was that all about? Goku's like, I'm not really too sure myself. And Frieza takes Goku away, and he looks like he's about to attack him. Like, is he going to literally try to kill Goku? I think he's just gonna give him some energy, like Goku did for him on Namek when they were fighting. So, and he's like, that reminds me of Namek. I'm like, well, yeah, it should. It was like almost step by step what happened in Namek. But only as far as Goku's kind of power-ups go with the Kaioken and Spirit Bomb stuff. Everything else was different. So obviously really good stuff here. Next episode, Jiren is fighting Hit. Overall, I very much enjoyed the 1 hour special. What did you think about the 1 hour special? But as always, thank you very much for watching. Share the video, comment with your thoughts, and of course, take it easy.